Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on my lovely day off. And today I will be talking about yet another Mind Games fragrance. That's right, guys. And ever since I did French Defense recently, a lot of y'all have been requesting this specific Mind Games fragrance to be reviewed. So I ordered it, I tested it, and I've got my results today. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Okay, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel as we head towards 24,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. Please deep dive into my over 700 no hype videos. I do have a lot of mind games here as well. So please continue all your support. Thank you very much. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than Mind Games Gambit. Yes, Mind Games Gambit, guys. And this decant here I got from Scent Rush Fragrances. That's right. Thank you, Joey from Scent Rush. They do have a very extensive list of decants. And I would say that Scent Rush is more of the usable types, all right? These decants that they have of fragrances are more on the fragrances that really a lot of people can use rather than, I would say, like super exclusive type fragrances. And because of that, they do have great prices on their 5 mLs, 10 mLs, and full bottle fragrances that are on discount. Okay, so again, Scent Rush Fragrances, they're heavy on the usable fragrances. A lot of the bangers and popular ones in Fragcom, they do have it. So please stop by Scent Rush Fragrances. Even right now, they do have that Black Friday up to Cyber Monday discount. Again, thank you, Joey from Scent Rush. Gambit, although this is a chess-inspired name, it's actually not related to the juice, okay? I mean, that's mind games in general, but Gambit is a chess move wherein a player sacrifices a move or a chess piece for eventual gain later. I think we do that a lot in life, right? We sacrifice a lot to gain something later, all right? That is the Gambit move in chess. Anyways, I'm here to talk about the juice. Why is everybody asking me to review this? Why? All right, there are some answers right here. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, Mind Games Gambit, starting with, I would say, this very pleasant, gentlemanly opening. And before I continue, one of those things when I was reading about Gambit is that a lot of people are comparing this fragrance to Dior Sauvage Elixir. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably here for the same reason, all right? And I will make that comparison as we go along this fragrance. Now, this intro right here is very nice. I would say not so close even to Dior Sauvage Elixir, but this one right here, I would say gave me immediate like aftershave barbershop vibes. All right, because this intro right here is heavy on lavender and it is also heavy on petitgrain, which is, you could say that's the green modifier right here. And then, of course, you have the spice of clove. All right. So again, if you look at the Dior Sauvage, like elixir vibes, I mean, those are mostly, I would say, like dark vibes, heavy on the warm, spicy from the get-go. Whereas this scent right here, Gambit, feels like you just got out of a barbershop. All right, it's got barbershop vibes thanks to the heavy lavender. And with that being said, it's actually partially uplifting. It's really an intro that is fresh, spicy rather than warm, spicy. And actually, this intro does remind me of Skin Bracer. And that is something that my dad just used for years and decades as his like aftershave, right? So I get some Skin Bracer vibes. Very uplifting, I would say uplifting, fresh, spicy with a green modifier. So I would say that the intro really, although you can say, okay, it has spices and it has lavender, is the least like maybe Sauvage-like part of Mind Games Gambit. Nevertheless, though, this intro is gonna be highly likable and highly usable, and that's the reason why this this scent is in the Scent Rush Fragrances library, because really it's got gent scent written all over it. And I would say that this intro right here, because of the beautiful, fresh, spicy vibes, it's not initially heavy with a lot of clove. I would say that because it's more on the fresh, spicy, gentlemanly side, that this is going to be really usable on a day-to-day basis at work for men, the office, like that kind of deal, which is kind of different, like I said, from Elixir, which has kind of like clubby, like ultra masculine vibes and kind of like seducer vibes. This one right here is more for like office, gentlemen, golf. I would say golf and other day-to-day activities. I would say that this is a lot more usable on that department. And the fact that this is a lot more green because of the modifier of petitgrain also tells you that this is more on the safe side. All right, guys. Now let's talk about initial sillage and projection on this one. This one is more of an aromatic draw-in scent. That's another thing compared to a fragrance like Dior Sauvage Elixir, or even that Gisada or Gisada, which was like a copy of Elixir. I would say that those two are more on the oomph, that power punch, the moment you spray it. Strong, heavy, warm, spicy. Whereas this is more of like calming and aromatic. It's kind of like a nice mood calmer. It doesn't make this fragrance weak at all. It's just nice and aromatic. And of course, this will have your draw-in properties thanks to the spices, guys, so that anyone that comes near you will probably give you, a compliment or two, because it's got the spicy part as well. So fresh and spicy, mood calming, nice sillage and projection on this one. Not necessarily those overbearing, like oomph in your face, that kind of style, which is in Dior Sauvage Elixir and the Gisada. Okay, so now let's head into the mid of this fragrance. And I'm sure you guys want to know when it actually becomes slightly warm and spicy. So this fragrance to me got warm and spicy within 45 minutes. So you get a nice uplifting lavender and greens up to, I would say, like 45 minutes. And then the clove starts kicking in with the cardamom and the geranium. All right, so these are typical fall winter notes, but they're actually in a nice proportion here. I wouldn't even say really heavy. It's just a warm, spicy transition from the intro of Mind Games Gambit. Now, this is a warm, spicy intro, and this warm, spicy intro is actually, you could say, the closest to Dior Sauvage Elixir, because this is the warm and spicy side. Again, 45 minutes in though from that barbershop aftershave type intro, uplifting and mood calming. This mid right here is more on the warm spicy side, with the only one modifier, which is mimosa, which is yet again another green type of modifier. It's actually a floral that's slightly powdery with green nuances, and again you are getting a green nuance here in the mid, despite having a warm and spicy type mid. So that's really interesting how they kept it gentlemanly, how Mind Games kept this mid gentlemanly with the mimosa, really integrating here with your warm and spicy. You could say the closest to Dior Sauvage Elixir mix. All right, so again, warm and spicy mid after 45 minutes on this. I think it's pretty likable as well. Okay, so now let's head into the dry down of this fragrance right here, Mind Games Gambit. Now you will get a 5-hour coverage of that mid, warm and spicy, with cardamom, geranium, as well as a green modifier right here, mimosa. And then in the dry down, guys, I would say this is one of the more notable parts, primarily because of Ambrose Star. Okay, now Ambrose Star is not Ambroxan, but rather a very long-lasting amberwood note or molecule or whatever it is that they concocted. But basically, Ambrose Star is a long-lasting amber wood. Now, it is flanked by patchouli and sandalwood, and patchouli gives it some slight dark woody vibes, as well as sandalwood. You've got some woody vibes from the sandalwood, but really it is Ambrose Star that that is the star of the show. Now, what is this amber star like? Is this really like a strong honeyed amber note? Actually, no. It's this really, I would say, lingering, not so strong, but it's there type of mild smelling amber note with some woods. And I liked it primarily because it wasn't like super thick. It was just like nice and aromatic to smell, and the sweetness wasn't really cloying. It was just enough amber right here, and also an equal proportion with the woods. And what I liked about this Ambrose Star was that it was consistent throughout the dry down phase. And normally you don't get that. I mean, normally you get notes that eventually get weaker and they kind of fade away. But the Ambrose Star actually continued to be there, again, flanked by the woods. All right, so nice, mild, I would say, not uber strong amber with woods right here that create this nice, consistent, lingering, aromatic scent towards the end. Okay, so what is my verdict on Mind Games Gambit? Okay, this fragrance is definitely likable, and I see why a lot of y'all wanted me to review this, because it is definitely a likable scent. Are there a lot of competitors in the area of gent scent, fresh spicy to warm spicy? Absolutely. But I wouldn't say that this is right here on the same competition range with fragrances like Gisada as well as Dior Sauvage Elixir, because of just the overall composition of this really being more of a usable day-to-day fresh spicy and warm spicy fragrance versus, I would say, like clubby style or date night style Dior Sauvage Elixir and Gisada. And I think that this fragrance right here, if you want to compare it to Dior Sauvage, is a lot more closer to Forte. And I did review Dior Sauvage Forte, and I talked about that fragrance. A lot of the OG Elixir people hated Forte, but I stood my ground and I said, actually, this is kind of nice because it is kind of like on a very chill and steady like type of projection all throughout. Okay, and if you're looking for a monster oomph type of impact type of Sauvage, then Elixir is for you. But I always, I said that, this Forte is much more mild-mannered, more gentlemanly mild-mannered, okay? And I feel like this fragrance, Gambit right here, is a lot more comparable to something like that. Less on the super oomph, more on the marathon, more on the long game of smelling nice and gentlemanly and chill all throughout the fragrance. All right, and when we talk about total performance, this one, for example, this one lasted up to 15 hours. Okay, and that's also thanks to that Ambrose Star, that long-lasting amber type of accord that went all the way up to 15. But again, the consistency of having it lingering and nice throughout, and it's consistent on the smell, I would say not generally strong, is what I liked about this fragrance. It says a lot about the usability of this fragrance. Usage-wise, guys, this is going to be your easy grab day-to-day gent scent. Just because you've got the lavender barbershop vibes in the beginning, and then you have the very consistent but not so strong warm spicy amber vibes towards the end. Very, very easy to use. I would say all weather even. Well, maybe cooler spring nights, but definitely AC environments, fall, winter. This was okay and very resilient here in this Texas cold. 50s, it was resilient to the cold. So I would say you can wear this anytime, anywhere. And again, more on the usability side, day-to-day activities, going to the country club, golf, hanging around with friends, family. You can still wear this on a date, but I would say that this doesn't really communicate like, seductive or, sensual. It doesn't communicate any of that. So be careful. If you're going to use this on a date, you might end up in the friend zone because you'd probably smell like office or, some formal man that kind of like doesn't take risks. That is my translation of this. I feel like this is really more for like a safe zone type of meeting. So kind of like family, friends, business associates. But I would say date night, probably not. There are other more potent and more intentional types of scents for this. But again, this is a great daily grabber. Okay, so now let's talk about the cost of this fragrance. This fragrance is $375 for a bottle. You can say if you get it, right now, Black Friday, probably $310. And I would say it is full bottle worthy, but definitely it is redundant for some barbershop fougere fragrances and warm spicy fragrances. So make sure that you test it, and that is why you should go to Scent Rush right now. They do have a Black Friday discount on everything, their decants and their full bottles. I would say a 5 to 10 ml is okay to own right here. A 10 ml at Scent Rush is, I believe, $40 something, which is really, really good. Saves you a lot of money as you are getting 10 ml of the juice of this one. And then you can see from there if it is redundant, if it is something that smells like your other fragrances or aftershaves or what have you, or does it smell close to Sauvage Elixir or Eau Forte for you. $40 should be pretty risk-free at this point. But I would say this is kind of expensive. You have to check the redundancy with your other fragrances, especially if you collect a lot of fragrances in this, you could say, categorization or genre of gent scent. Nevertheless, though, this fragrance right here, it does smell good. All right, Mind Games Gambit does smell good, and that is your typical MO of Mind Games. Maybe you can hate on them by having redundant style perfumes, and maybe you hate the fact that they're getting popular because of their really good marketing, but the juice smells good though. All right, the juice smells good. There's nothing here that doesn't smell good, and they always perform. So those two things, I would say, the fact that the juice smells good and it performs, plus the really good marketing of these chess inspired fragrances, is the reason why Mind Games continues to expand and gain more fans all around the world. Can't hate on that part, guys. But anyways, it's still redundant. I would say make sure you get a decant from Scent Rush. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. That's my review on Mind Games Gambit. Thanks for requesting this. And if you would like to request a fragrance that you feel needs a no hype treatment, something that's being pumped up, the stock is being pumped up, or the Bitcoin, the Bitcoin's being pumped up by all these other reviewers and everyone else. If you see something like that and it sounds kind of iffy or wonky, please make sure to hit me up. Comment below with a fragrance so I can look into it. Trust me, I do. And I do hit up all my decanters if they have one. All right. So thank you for all your requests. And again, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. God bless. Take care. Peace.